Well, a quick tip that anybody can use that will be very handy is helping to prepare your staff for any kind of inspection interview. Specifically, we're here at Lurie Children's getting ready for our Joint Commission inspection. But whether it's a state or federal inspection, it's the same approach that the inspectors will take. In fact, the last inspector I spent a lot of time with told me, he said, John, I don't want to speak to anybody in your departments that have worked for you for longer than 2 years. And the reason for that, of course, inspectors are here to protect the population. So they're looking for safety problems. And as the inspector said, a big threat to patient safety is inexperienced staff. And so they want to ask someone who's fresh off orientation some of the questions about processes, because that's probably the biggest risk to patient safety. So what I realized, my aha moment then, was that we had to incorporate a lot of our Joint Commission preparation into our orientation process. And so that's really the tip that I wanted to talk about. And so specifically, we'll look at sterile processing, which is a huge focus of the Joint Commission because of all the problems that they've found. And some of these are very basic problems. We're talking, bioburden, a lot of surgical identification tape that's wrapped again and again over each other and is corroded and is trapping bacteria and whatnot. I mean, this is pretty basic things, but they find a lot of it, and so that's some of the inspections that they're spending a lot of time these days in sterile processing. So you want to work this in the orientation process. The ability to answer these questions. Now, the staff are already learning these answers. This isn't anything extra, but they're typically not in the habit of answering to them. So when you have an inspector walk up and they look at some of our autoclaves and they ask, okay, how do you know this is working correctly? How do you know this is functioning correctly? And so you want to coach them, and you can actually give them written materials where you spell out the answer about the daily testing that's done in advance. Of course, the Bowie-Dick tests that are done to ensure sterility. And so you want to kind of coach them into answering the questions. Now, they already know this. They passed orientation. They know it. So a lot of times it's just the staff not knowing that they know the answer to the question. Also, there's the white coat syndrome. It gets intimidating, even though most inspectors these days are very nice, but it is intimidating. But the staff do know the answer. These are very well-trained staff. They know the answer to the questions. It's just getting them in the habit of answering it. So here at Lurie, we've developed a preparation guide that we actually give to the staff as part of the end of their orientation. And we kind of go through and have fun with it in terms of answering the questions. And they have the answers in front of them, but it's getting them, again, in the habit of answering them. It only takes a second, and it just can give you that extra padded sense of relief that you've prepared your staff as best you can for these inspections.